morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the BL13 Festive Fury Series. We've got two races for 1 and 2 for you. We're out on the Temple Trek as well as going coastal. Two brand new routes that Zwift has released in the last month. It's going to be a lot of fun. Temple Trek, Dave, it's fast. You were talking about this in pre-production. It's only 11K downhill and then into the new coast backwards to the way people usually go with a little bit of rolling through Sasquatch country.
Sasquatch country. So, Nathan, I'm wondering, have we ever had a race that had a net negative elevation? I don't think so.
I think you're right about that. I don't think we do.
Well, we're darn close today. 13 meters of vertical gain throughout this course, which is literally basically your driveway, to tell you the truth. Not much more than actually your driveway is pretty flat, isn't it? But to tell you the truth, this is going to be a very, very interesting race. I am stoked. I'm just talking about the first one right now. Nathan brings up some of our graphics here to take a look at what the 11K will entail. But Nathan, there's a sleeper in this race. As I take a look at Zwift Power today, if you look down, there's a PO Auto rider taking the start named Joachim Leeson. That's going to change everything out here as we put the riders out on course, like the salmon in the Columbia River spawning to the Pacific. Our racers are out on course, Nathan.
Yeah, and it does look like we've got a lot BL13, of course, in amongst the riders, as it is their series. But we do got Way from WLC now making his way forward. Aaron Burrell is here as well. We've got Niall from Oliver's Bicycle Works now also up toward the front right from the get-go. A lot of verified badges actually out there, Dave. Always good to see. It does bring up the level of status a lot of times of the races when you do see that out there. But right from the get-go here on this downhill, because of the new pack dynamics, Dave, they're not going to roll through quite as easily, are they? This is going to actually put a little bit of alarm bells immediately, and then once they do grab back onto this front group, probably calm down as people can sit in. But if you got a little bit of a gap to a few riders up front, they can start working together and get away pretty easily, especially on a little bit of dirt later on as we do hit the jungle loop for about half of it for the downhill sections before we head on over to the new coast.
The easier the course, it seems like the harder the racers are going to make it on each other, which is pretty much what we're looking at right now. We're not even 1K. And so, Nathan, what do you think today? They're going to get this done in less than 14 minutes, won't they? I'm going to say 13:40 for our winner's time out of this group here for this 11K Temple Trek. It's on. Actually, even a little, I'm going to revise that actually a little bit, seeing that it's actually 10.4. These distances sometimes can be a bit of a thumbnail sketch. So let's go 13:30 for my estimated winner's time. Nathan, what do you think?
You know, you're always way better than me in the kilometers, so I'm gonna just trust you on that. Let's see here,
Mr.
Okay,
Metric.
yeah, let's now hold on. Let me see here. Okay, so 13:30. So we're a little over. You know, I'm gonna put it out to 14. I'm gonna say 14 minutes. We'll see what happens. So 14 minutes.
Okay. Good.
53 registered, 50 joined. We've actually got 51, it looks like, that have jumped in at this point. 25 meters total of elevation climbing. But as you said, Dave, it is a negative out there today. It's an interesting place that the finish is, as we did see just a little bit earlier on that little map provided by Zwift Insider. The Temple Trek, we're going to hit 2 sprint points out on the coast. You head through some of that Mayan type section, and then we don't really hit too much Sasquatch area. It's actually mainly that first half that looks more South American like. So it'll be interesting to see how they take that on. There isn't too many punches. It's actually mostly the flat sections, but there are some definite corners that may be able to allow the athletes to have a little bit of a punch and get away if they can. But Dave, very much a downhill adventure out here today for BL13. And this is a good one, actually, I think, because it is a pure power type situation, right? I mean, like, you're just going to be more of a ruler's gambit out here today.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tactics are going to be at such a high level that, yeah, I mean, all of these guys are fit. All of these guys are strong. 15 minutes is a really interesting duration. That amount of racing is just enough to hurt yourself at a maximum level. As we take a look at one of the Canadians, Lavoie, attacking now, this really is a murderer's row when you look at our peloton as well. I mean, there are so many recognizable names, including Aaron Baril, the South African. They're starting to move up. But if it does come down to a sprint, which there is certainly no guarantee, I'm looking at the SWAT team to upset the BL13 party, Nathan. Lavoie is just one of this Canadian crew out here that brings the heat. You got Luc Gilbeau, who I saw moving up earlier, positioning himself well in the peloton. But Merlin Dalliere, let's watch out for some magic watts from Merlin, the Canadian. He's on that SWAT team as well. So, Nathan, a lot of riders to watch. This is Vicic that we're looking at now, pushing the pace, the Dutch rider here. And with a rowing background like Jason Osborne, we know that's dangerous.
Yeah, we do see Robert here now at the front from the Netherlands. A little bit of a gap, but I think that's going to get shut down pretty quickly as Lavoie comes back. But it's 7 watts per kilogram to get back on terms, actually, with that. And what's interesting to me is the willingness from some of these riders in the pack to head to the front, but I think the reason being is they can see the separation that is being caused by this. But look at some of the riders. Lavoie is up to 156 beats per minute here at this point. Scholl now also 136, interesting enough. 165 here coming from Beat Dog from the DPR out of the US of A. What kit is this guy riding in here? Liking this. We do here, interesting enough.
That's the Lance George Hincapie project that they've got going. Christian Vandeveld and all that crew really with the We Do team have built up. There's We Do Nation at this point. So that's going to be one of their guys, Big Dog out there. So that's nice to see. They've been leading some rides as well on Zwift. So taking a look at a peloton, maybe backing off a little bit. But Nathan, we've talked a lot about, and I've listened to some podcasts recently talking about, there's been so much focus on FTP and watts, but what about speed, right? You've always been an advocate for that, like just carrying speed through. How fast are you going? Which has a lot to do with things besides just making watts, aerodynamics, how slippery are you? And it's really fun to watch. Big Dog is on a moment right now as the We Do rider, hitting it hard. So the American must be taking his lunch break here, Nathan, and decide to turn himself into a wattage cottage right now. So Merlin is one of the riders. I see Dalliere there, the SWAT rider in the convo. Nathan, he's one of the guys that's certainly champing at the bit to get a sprint out here today. I see Mafa Tarek as well. I didn't realize that Mafa had taken the start. I mean, you have to go down through this start list, Nathan, at some point, and I have to make sure that he actually is in our field. But Joachim Leeson, Nathan, let's talk quickly about the Danish rider and how dangerous, what a threat he's going to be. I just need to find him in the group to confirm he's actually here first.
Big move off the front now. Was going to check out Aiden Patterson just a moment ago, but we've got a serious move. It looked like going off the front here. Who is that going to be? Dallaire, actually, the rider that you were just talking about from the SWAT team just a moment ago. Tarek looks to try and cover that, it looks like. Boril now also maybe looking to cover across. Lavoie thinks this is a danger moment. He kicks 11 watts per kilogram as they're about to take the left-hand turn over toward the coastal section, and that's where things really can start to open up as it flattens out just a little bit. You can see the level 10 fence up because our streamer accounts don't have level 10 or more, so we are not allowed over there. We get in, though, it looks like, with these guys.
That would have been weird if we bounced off of the fence with
they
the broadcast.
Said no. Yeah, well, guess what happens. See you later, everybody. But Lavoie here continuing
no respect.
Now, this is a situation where the speed is exactly what you were talking about, Dave. They didn't kick 11 watts per kilogram behind. We didn't see 6 or anything like that, but the separation from the churn is starting to become a reality. Now that Wei heads to the front there from WLC, he's taking that churn, it looks like. It is Wei, S-Wei here. WLC, taking that churn, taking that speed from the pack, and accelerating it off the front. He didn't have to actually put out 11 watts per kilogram to gain that Lavoie did. He just pushed a quick little 6 to 7 here for just a moment after sitting in for a while. So it is all about the tactics, saving up that speed and timing everything absolutely perfectly. That is the way that you bike race, and it is not just an exercise machine out here today. It is most definitely a tactical chess match, as we always say here, Dave. And now we're into only about 5K to go, less than 5K to go, 3 or 4K to go here at this point here, and they're starting to try and separate, but nope, all back together.
Yeah, I mean, it is so hard to create any kind of separation out here. Nathan, I'm trying to do some research here and see who S-Way is. This is a new name to me, rider coming out of the woodwork, which is a great sign, to tell you the truth, to have a rider step up at this level. Very, very impressive. So as we get down to the business end here, it's been incredibly fast. This is the first time I've seen the speed really drop down into the mid-40s out here, as these guys are flat out flying. It is Grupo Compacto, more or less. I mean, you don't sign up for a race like this unless you're willing to put yourself through the thresher. There's the Spanish rider, Iker Murel. Be watching for him here. There's going to be a flurry of attacks coming. So Stuart Way, thank you, Nathan. I like the pixel picture there. The Wahoo Lacole rider, an American. I don't know how familiar you are with Stuart, but he's certainly on my radar now, Nathan.
Yeah, we see him quite a bit actually in the race. He's level 60 Zwifter, as you can see. He's got a solid 5.2 watts per kilogram for 20 minutes at about 385. So you let this guy off the front, you may be able to escape. But watch out for the sprint, still 13 watts per kilogram. Maybe not quite enough for some of the more pure sprinters. But if he does get involved in something a little bit off the front and there's a reduced sprint or even somewhat of a drag race, watch out for him in that.
And this is going to come down to timing. If it is a sprint, Nathan, so his numbers are enough. He's thereabouts. If you catch my drift on, yeah, he's going to need to catch a break, but everybody needs to catch a break and a finish like we're anticipating here today for this group. Again, thank you to BL13 for hosting. Wednesdays have become a real treat, and if you want to get better at racing, this is the place to be, no doubt about it. Vicic has been impressive, Nathan, and again, back with Way here. So talking about two riders that really shouldn't be given much leash, well, these two right now, I'm surprised that they're playing around at all with these two here, Nathan.
Yeah, they've got about 2 seconds. A little bit of a reminder here, everybody, about how much distance we have. It's not a whole lot. We're going out to 10.4K. That means there's only 3K to go. A little bit of distance between them. Lavoie can see the danger as he looks to jump across. Doesn't drag the pack up with him, but it's going to get some response most likely, and we'll see if the rest of the pack ends up jumping as well. Joker at the front there as well, the Spaniard. Now Lavoie right over the top. They need to grab that wheel with the speed there. 51 kilometers per hour. Joker here now 47. So, Dave, this is danger moment for the rest of the pack.
It's even going to be faster than we anticipated, Nathan. And I got to be honest, Lavoie here, we're down to really less than 2K at this point. So into the penultimate kilometer, and it's going to be old school fury. If these three can work together, and I don't know that there's even any opportunity for them to hook up, because you can see Big Dog, the We Do rider, who we were featuring a little bit earlier, is right on the front. He's going to try to slam this back together now. I think the peloton likes the situation. Joker up there, Schold, Michael Podzaline racing today. So the pride of Connecticut. So Wahoo Lacole's got a couple of riders. An interesting situation for them as they got a rider up in the breakaway with Stuart Way here, Nathan, and Podzaline able to sit on the chase with his teammate, setting things up. So good job by Wahoo Lacole right now as we're rapidly coming up on the red kite. 1K to go, and that's it. That moment has arrived, Nathan. That group, just that small gap, not enough to give me much confidence for the three off the front right now.
At 4 seconds, though, Dave, 900 meters. I don't know. Can they close it down? They've got to work together, though. They can't look at each other. A little bit of a jump here coming from Big Dog. Big Dog, 6 bucks per kilogram, as you can see. Going to have to open it up. I think they've done it, Dave. I really do. I think at this point, they can almost see the banner here off in the distance now. Will the ramp come from the main pack? 13 watts per kilogram. Daz Carter now kicks.
Well, and this is what it's all about in esports. No question. It's not over until it's over. And Daz, absolute monster alert. You can see, though, that these guys had a lot in the tank. Nathan, it's going to go right to the line.
It is, and Vivek here now. Where is the banner? They're screaming for it. They're absolutely dying at this point, and Vivek is working with this group behind him here, just dragging them essentially to the line. He is sacrificing himself. They're in it now. It's the last 200 meters. Way sat in perfectly here. He's got the arrow power up now with the jump. It's an uphill grind, 1% gradient. Where's the rest of the pack? Podzaline trying to come, but Stuart Way, he's going to do it, Dave. He's going to do it. It's right there around the corner. That's it. He hold on. Podsy's coming.
It's not over.
11 watts per kilogram from Podsy. He takes the inside line. Look at the Zwift plays playing out here. He's got it, I think, Dave. It's going to be just a couple of meters. Just a couple of meters right there. Does
Almost
it, Dave? Right to the line.
Very great job, Wahoo Lacole. They take the win. Way Insane and his teammate Michael Podsley almost getting second. I think he's probably going to slot in at about fourth, but that was a Wahoo Lacole masterclass out here. Wow. And that's what these races are all about, folks. They seem, Nathan, I mean, that's bike racing, baby. And it seems like every single time that we do this here on Wednesdays, we end up with such a quality product. So, wow. Again, we're not done. Now we can move into the interval here between races is, what are we looking at? A little more than 10 minutes until we'll have them back out there on course for Going Coastal, the second of two. Now's a great time, Nathan, as I know you'll be working on getting our results together, to thank our friend Alejandro. He's just been doing an incredible job behind the scenes for us. With
double win for WLC. Also riding for WLC, so and part of their crew over there. So big win across the board.
The brains of the Condor program, the Chilean mastermind, is Alejandro or AJ.
See what we can bring in here. I want to. We're taking a second here.
So who got up there?
I want to show a replay. Actually, that's the reason why I'm not showing results just as yet, because I really want to see how this played out, because the way that Carter attacked was pretty amazing, actually. You know, we have this 4-second gap now at this point with Vivek up ahead as well, and then Lavoie and Vivek here on this. Now, Dave, was that almost a full K at this point, and a little under that, and Carter goes with that crazy kick, and somehow Michael Podsley, how did he find himself in second place? Like,
because he sat
patience.
He surfed the chase perfectly, Nathan. I mean, I remember at that point I was saying how Wahoo Lacole really did have this set up well with the strong rider in the break and then Podzaline sitting up in the front of that peloton. The thing that was perfect here was that Stuart Way was one of the better sprinters. Didn't really do that much work in that breakaway, Nathan. They weren't out there for more than a couple of minutes. So he wasn't really that, he wasn't cooked. And still, he probably didn't have his best sprint, but because he was sprinting with I'm going to say 150-meter head start, even though at this point he's fading a little bit. That's his teammate Michael Podsley sitting second wheel. Now, Podslane's going to get swamped here, but Stuart Way, it wasn't even really close in the world of Zwift. When we've seen a lot closer than this, Nathan. Not even a virtual photo finish. Back behind, I thought maybe they'd go 1-2 for Wahoo Lacole, but that's going to be Jari Kranberg up there.
Just barely. Did Kranberg get it?
Yeah.
Did he?
He
right. Did. I can't really. Right there, he does. He does get it. You can see just barely the green Tron there behind. So.
And we'll be able to look at the back end API.
Yeah, we'll actually get those in right now. That's
an awesome finish, though. I mean, we're talking about how great that women's race. Yeah, Jari does end up second there with Stuart Way taking the win. Great job, Stuart. So that's how you do it. And that's how you make your mark on Zwift as well. So Stuart Way for Wahoo Lacole taking the win. Jari Kranenberg for second today. Iker Morel ends up coming through for the bronze medal with Michael Podsley putting two Wahoo Lacole riders up in the top four. Well done today, Michael. It's Niels One-Shot who ends up fifth. Matteo Sigala, good to see Matteo back racing with us here on Zwift. He'll end up sixth today. Mahfud Tarek in seventh. That's another Wahoo Lacole rider of note. Robert Vicic, who is one of the main aggressors out there, deserves a gold star for that. J.M. Lachance, Jean-Michel Lachance, the Quebec rider in ninth, and Goyini rounding out our top 10. And Nathan, that was exactly what we were looking for. Look at that. If it were a GC battle, it was actually giving a second difference there between Way and Kranenberg.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see if we can jump across to our top 20 now. It is going to be Zeller coming on through in 11th place. Matteo Milanesi in for 12th. Joel Bowden in 13th place. St. Dane there in 14th. Joachim Leeson takes 15th place. Unexpected there. From Joachim. I wonder if maybe a little bit of struggle or just bad timing. I think Joachim might be getting used to also the new pack dynamics as well. Joker coming on through for 16th place. It's going to be Aaron Bolero for 17th. Rodrigo Fernandez Simon, 18th place. It's going to be Martin van Rijgen. Van Dries there for 19th. Lavoie all the way back to 20th. Dave, that's the risk, isn't it? Going off the front.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I can appreciate it. Go big or go home, right? And with these little races that we do, it's always why not take some chances, roll some dice, and see how things play out. You become a better bike racer for it, and it's more fun for everyone as well. And that's a big part of the spirit of what we're doing out here. So, yeah, no warning sign there. Actually, it's encouraging to see guys who come to race.
So 21st through 30th, Dave, can you take us away for that?
You got it. Aiden Patterson ended up in 21st. J-Dub for 22nd. It was Dan Schlief for 23rd today. Spoons ending up in 24th. Big Dog might get the most aggressive rider, one of them. Good job today, Big Dog in 25th. Johan Breitenbach in 26th. Wim Reinarts in 27th today. As we work through our top 30, Luke G made it in 28th. Simon Romy in 29th, and then Jay Botel rounds out our top 30, and you can see they're all right there in that front group.
Dr. Watson, Tony Scholl, and it's going to be Robert Ewan, followed up by Daz Carter after that massive attack back in 34th, and then Niall in 35th there. Crazy that Daz was leading the charge to bring it back, and then all the way back in 34th place. That, man, does that say so much, doesn't it? It really, really does about how things can play out if from being completely at the front in the last 500 meters to find yourself completely at the back. It's go big or go home, as you said there, Dave.
Yeah, boy, if you sit up, you are out of the results page, that's for sure. So, okay, back to the pen. These are the same riders that you just witnessed racing as they're right now, chilling out, just cooling down, really. I don't think there's too much to say. I think most people get it about what the process would be here, getting ready for the second race. It is noteworthy that we could have riders joining us who didn't do the first race. Always wondered, Nathan, how much of an advantage that is. And at times, is it even an advantage? You know, these riders have done a real legitimate opener here with that first race. Do they have a bit of an advantage for that coming into the second race over someone coming in cold? Maybe.
I'm not sure exactly. I mean, as far as that goes, I think
depends on the athlete.
The advantage, I think. I mean, okay, if I didn't just do a full gas 13-minute or whatever that was,
you're better off.
Yes, I'm definitely better off at that point. I think that there's just a reality that there's so much glycogen that's been burned, and you can't reload it that quickly. You have to be a superb athlete for that to be just a warm up. So, some of the athletes jumping in here. Aaron Barrio, definitely one to be watching out for out here today. Another rider that we were thinking about there, Dave, that I was wondering.
Yeah, and his heart rate at 103. So it shows you, the recovery process. I certainly don't expect to see him down at 60, but 104. That's not just completely chill either. The body is ramped up right now. They finished about 7 minutes ago. We're about 4 minutes from our next start.
Jumping across. This is the rider I was wondering who this is. Joker. He's got a UAE kit on. How does he Joker's not actually a UAE rider, right?
No, he's not on a team bike, which would be one easy.
There we go. Thanks.
Right, but
appreciate that.
But definitely, he fits the
role. He would have the
cool
in-game UCI Pro kit too. For just as information to those that are out there wondering, how do you know the reason why verified badges exist, as well as those UCI Pro kits that you do see in game, is so that you know who you're looking at is actually the person, and someone isn't just copying the name or something along those lines.
When you see Mark Cavendish or Matthew Vanderpool ride past you, or you ride past them, good on you. That's them, and that's extremely cool for folks to be able to connect those dots. I mean, it really is. I think my first clue was that his name is Joker, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Good call. Good call.
So, all right, filling in the pen. So, Nathan, I mean, I guess if you're just sitting there on your bike after that effort, it looks like a world-class Zwifter keeps their heart rate around 100 beats per minute. That's probably just turning the legs over.
Yeah, I'd say about that. Yeah. It's not a bad way to look at it. Look at this guy, Jakob Larsen, out of Denmark. He's on a podium already with the yellow jersey. What's that all about? Good
Level
to see.
60
Yeah, I
Zwifter.
got some information coming in here
Everything
about Stuart
tracks.
Way, actually,
Oh, great.
directly from the WLC guys, as we have about 3 minutes to go here. So let's see if we can.
Yeah, our champion, winner
Yeah,
of the first race, Stewart. Yep. What do you
and
got, Nathan?
so Stuart Way is actually started out focusing on cycling 3 years ago in preparation for participating in a group ride called the Police Unity Tour, which serves to benefit fallen law enforcement officers. Wow. That was at the end of 2022, so it would be 4 years now. So the event was quite a powerful 4 years. Um, yeah, so that's where he started on this. Coming out of New Brunswick, New Jersey, police officer. So
Huh.
pretty cool to
He
see.
is a
Thanks a
police
lot.
officer himself.
Yeah,
Boy, isn't it amazing how events can motivate people? You know, I've heard this story in different iterations a few times. Of I I was motivated because I'm a police officer, and this is for fallen police officers. I wasn't in shape, but I said I'm not going to show up and make a fool out of myself. You start the process, and once you start the process, man, it is on, like they say, like Donkey Kong, right? Because then you start having accountability for yourself, and all of a sudden you realize, like, my day's not complete unless I get my Zwift in, and then you're cooking with gas. So that's really awesome. That's why these are the stories, Nathan, that keep us going on this end. You know, Stuart Way, I didn't know who Stuart really was before this race. And now when this is done, I'll stop and I'll think about how cool that is, that he was able to make some solid life change. Now he's a badass bike racer. This is an old friend of ours, Matteo Chigala, who's had some real success. I can't let Zwift take all the credit. Matteo gets that for doing the hard work, but he's been with us on Zwift a lot, Nathan.
yeah, he has. Be on the watch out for him. Always good to see Matteo jumping in. So got the cycling on his kid. That's cool to see. Liking that. Coming out of Italy as they're about to take the start here. We'll see how fast they go out at the pens as it is just getting going now as they head out for this going coastal. Dave, where is the finish line going to be on this one? This is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to see if I can get us some more information on the details here. Again, this is going to be 13.9 kilometers. They're not doing the entirety, I believe, of this going coastal there. 8.6 miles or 13.9 kilometers. Should be a pretty quick one here.
I'm not seeing any names on the start list that stand out as interlopers, riders who didn't do the first race that would be extremely dangerous here. So it looks like everything more or less is on the up and up as we get the festive fury going. This has been awesome doing Wednesdays with BL13. I was a little worried when we got to races 11 and 12 last week, Nathan, that we're going to be at the end of the string. But you solved that as we move into festive fury mode. I didn't see that name coming. I love it. So, all right, Stuart Way, let's see if you can go back to back out here. Stuart didn't realize there were two races, Nathan. So,
I love it. Well, Stuart, better back that one up after that initial. Vivek, though, already, this guy's already giving it a go again. Our rower. Loving it. Police officers and attention to details. Oh, coming from the fireman.
From the teacher or fireman. That's right.
Podgy's a fireman. So, and they're both on WLC.
The same part of the country.
He's
up in Connecticut.
Same team.
Tri-state
These guys
area.
are great. Absolutely love it.
Well, that's some good-natured community going on right now. So, okay, the attacks are already coming, no doubt about it. You can count on Big Dog to be a part of one as well out here as we send the guys off. So, yeah, double the climbing. So we're up to a massive 28 meters of vertical gain in this one. So they definitely chose sprinters' routes. And, yeah, I mean, when you talk about a sprint finale out here in these races, Nathan, what it really means is a mad rush to the finish line. It's not like we line them up, everyone together at 800 meters, and then they start looking to launch their sprints at 200 meters. It's really a different race that we have here. The pressure is on big time as we lead into those last few K. Generally, there's attacks out of the group. So if a sprinter wins out of the air quotes peloton, it's usually catching a breakaway at the line as they win, isn't it?
Yeah, usually that's exactly what's happening.
More or less, I think.
Yep.
Now, if you want to describe
Aberg was on the move, but he's most likely not going to be able to get a result, which is too bad to see, as there is no heart rate monitor on for him. We'll see if he can get it connected throughout here, but I think they are required for this event. That's hard to see. But
It is, but it's part of what we're working towards. So, yeah, and I'm with you, Nathan. But at this point now, because for so many riders, they really crave that accountability from everyone else. And you know what? Every now and then it's going to happen to all of us. I'm sure it's happened to you and Gabby, Nathan. To every now and then your equipment just doesn't work. And we're willing absolutely to cut slack. But for results to be considered authentic, I think we're at the point now where we really need that verification. I get it.
look at Flores here was on the attack just a moment ago, not but over the top. It is going to be Tarek now again, and they just keep on. Kind of, what would you call this? You got any names for this? The way that they're riding this here, Dave? Like I've been saying, the churn, but this is more like trying to snap the elastic, like stretching it out over and over again. But what I'm getting at is not just the stretching of the elastic, but also that like jump over jump over jump, that roller coaster that they're riding 100%. Over and over again.
And I learned this term. This is part of what being around cycling really benefits you. The term for me is they just keep coming over the top. That's what they say at the Velodrome in Ghent, right? And it's exactly that. They just keep coming over the top with more speed. It's not quite a churn. I love that you ask, but does that make sense to you from my perspective? This over the top thing, you know?
Yep, 100%.
Yep.
100%. So coming over but then now the coming over the top though, like it doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't give me that why the acceleration is there though, right? I need a term that like
they just keep giving each other. It's just lead out to lead out to
after slingshot after slingshot after slingshot is what, and I love it when eventually now they're done slingshotting and Podsy's off the front, which is kind of a familiar thing that tends to happen with Michael Podsline.
Yes, the fire starter, oddly enough. As watch the watts from him now. He'll pretty much, it looks like, match the guys behind him. We're going to see a real interesting group as like who wants to chase this one down. Again, they've got plenty of time now, but this is really what Wahoo Lacole has been all about. They use their chess pieces wisely, and this is not a pawn that they've got up the road. This is a knight or a bishop. Or even maybe the king, to tell you the truth. But there's a lot of guys back. Really, this Canadian squad, SWAT, Nathan, I'm going to say that SWAT really emerged in the last year. Agro Watts were some of the other, the movement of Quebec-based Zwifters has really, I think this team has distilled out of that. And we've got some really strong sprinters on that squad that we'll see if they get a crack at it a little bit later in this race. It's certainly a decent chance that we do have a sprint today, a little bit longer, just under 14K of racing. But this, again, is going to be the story as we watch. That's Michael Podsline just up the road from this crew.
Mm-hmm. We have some counters now. T. Barry here with a ghost power up, actually. Not sure the other riders do not see him, but it looks like this is a big BL13 move, actually, is what's going on here. This is definitely planned. What BL13 is up to here is we do have Phil Utley, along with the rest of the BL13 crew, making some serious moves now into the uphill grind that is the middle of this Fuego Flats section.
Phil Utley there looks like he wants to talk to you about a problem with your paperwork, doesn't he? This is now BL13. This is, boy, you remember, Nathan? Of course you remember. It was one of the top 5 esports moments that we've shared together. The day that BL13, this goes back to 2021, I think, that we saw the team. This is when the team was really fresh, too, when they did a coordinated attack late in the race. I'm going to say about 3K to go. They put the entire team off the front and ended up, I mean, that was one of those moments you just never forget. And this is, you never get to replicate that either, as the peloton collectively has a memory like an elephant, and you fool them once, you don't get to fool them twice. That's for sure. Daz Carter looks like Point Break. Kind of like he's ready to sprint. He's actually an FBI agent. You don't even know that.
Oh, I love it. I like it that you brought that in. That's he does actually look like he's coming out of that movie. As now, where's Keanu though to take him out at this point? Well, that's the big question.
The copter or something, right? So solo breakaway today,
Now
Nathan. I
look at
mean,
that over
and
the
yeah,
top move Vivek just did. That was really well done. He watched BL13 burn a lot of matches and then onto the downhill section, leaving the Oasis. Used the speed to roll through and come over the top. Slows right on down now, and Barry, he knows exactly when to go. This is a really good moment because this is when everything flattens out and there's no free speed any longer for anyone in the pack. A 6.225. That's gonna be Allen who jumps right on his wheel with Vivek there right behind, but it's 1 second back, Dave. There's about 20 meters between them. There's a little distance here, but Kev Fowler bumps it up to 5 watts per kilogram. That's going to put a little bit of a dampening on their willingness, I think, up here as the herd rider looks to close this down.
between Barry and Carter, you've got more Zwiftcraft and knowledge on that BL13 team than you can put in a 10-gallon drum. This is going to be Kev Fowler that we're looking at. When you see that number there, that's always an indicator that the guys have either recently been doing a team time trial or they team time trial a lot. Is that's probably going to be their position, their numerology for their team time trial squad. As we're halfway into this race, this is really the midway point. Grupo Compacto, not for a lack of attacks out here. BL13 has tried to organize things on the front, but Nathan, it almost felt like that was a test drill out there. They didn't go all in with that, and that's what it's going to take with a group this talented. If you want to win, you have to completely commit to your tactic and strategy out here. There's another Chilean condor from the days as we see. It's great to see that Chilean flag becoming more and more prominent in Zwift. It's become a regular flag, and that's cool. Good for you, Chile. This is going to be Flores that we're looking at right now for the World Elite Zwifter team, or Wahoo Look. Well, that's
World
Elite
leads with
Zwifters. It says right
WZ,
there.
WZ, correct.
Yep.
WZ, 100%.
Good job. Stuart Way up there again, our previous winner. So right now, though, I think everybody back in that peloton's played their cards right up till this point, Nathan.
Yeah, it's going to be now. What is it, about 5K to go or so? 5K to go, a little under, little more than that, a little bit more than that.
Call it
6K
six.
Yeah, so we still got a little ways to go here. This is still a section where we could have some moves that could start to organize off the front. We start getting into that 3K to go, and it starts becoming like, is it worth it at this point? But I think we're going to see plenty of tack still from here on out. What I really love about this so far, though, is this crew is not. Nobody's just sitting around. Nobody's saying, well, it's just going to be a sprint. I mean, we've got a lot of counters with new names at the front over and over again. Great to see the way that they're keeping things interesting.
Agreed. You know, Nathan, typically in bike racing, a big part of how you're successful is by doing as little work as possible throughout the race to save as much as you can for the finale. It's not quite that way with these racers. They really come to get a great workout and throw down. So you see active racing, that the conversation we've had during this race, and here we go. That's a bummer.
Well, he was on the front for a moment, and then all of a sudden Gilbert just said, forget it,
went
Bob.
to zero.
Yeah.
The heart rate was...
Huh, interesting.
Guernsey.
No more.
You know who was from Guernsey is Jamie Lee Wright, our old friend from the Aeonian team. That's our second Guernsey. I hadn't ever heard of Guernsey until Zwift became a part of my life. So the continued education of Dave.
Niall again off the front. Nicely done here.
And Niall is, if you want to talk about horses for courses, Niall is a rider who's really up against it out here. He's a climber, and he's really, really doing a great job of putting them in the rearview mirror here. Great job today, Niall. Great job every day, to tell you the truth. This is a really talented athlete with a lot of spirit.
He's got about 4 seconds, actually. Yeah, 4 seconds, but Aberg here now heading to the front. Minus there from Viritas now. Just sitting in. Joker now looking to make a little bit of a move on the front as well to try and pull things back together. Only 3 seconds for Niall now at this point. They're going to take a left-hand turn. Well, there'll be a right around this, what do you call this thing? This like
gas station thing, kind of?
Yeah, gas station from the Jetsons, though. It's the Jetsons gas station.
Exactly. Yeah, probably an electric charge station, something like that, or nuclear
where are the
charge.
flying cars, though? That's my question. We're really missing out on them. Yeah, unsafe.
I think right now the big hitters, Nathan, are absolutely loving this race scenario. As you know, there's going to be a chase. You can't avoid that, but it doesn't look like they've got a major problem to deal with. Everybody back in this peloton can look around and see many other riders in the same situation as they are who are looking to sprint today. So I'm going to make that call now. I think that these guys are going to big bunch kick in their immediate future.
Looking here, Joe Bowden for
Boing.
NORRA as didn't bounce off, luckily enough, again. As he keeps on shutting things down, but I haven't seen him take he's more about closing things down rather than trying
He's a
to
dream
maybe stay
crusher.
involved. Yeah, essentially. So what do we got? 3K to go, a little over. And
Boy,
as we head around,
when have we seen the peloton this relaxed on any of our Wednesday events? This is the first time. So this just tells me that the guys here, so a lot of these guys have got a great sprint. They realize that it's looking more and more likely that they're going to get a chance to deploy it, and they don't want to waste their watts now then going in an attack that's not going to play out. There's going to be someone who zigs when they zag, though. Is it going to be Lavoie? He's one of the better sprinters out here. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting, Nathan. If he decides to attack, we're down to, let's call it 3K to go.
Lavoie,
it's not an attack,
moving again here. Loving to see it here. Restart kit. I love the new kit that they've got in game. Always great. Little bit of a power sign on the right-hand side of the legs there. Now Barry up on the
cool.
top.
Yeah,
Aiden Patterson's also there.
All right, we're going to stir the pot now, Nathan. It looks like BL13 is going to make their first, not their first move of the race, but I think this is the first consequential move that we're looking at. Two riders going up the road. It's going to be Barry and Patterson. So this has got to have the alarm bells ringing back to the peloton, as it does. Look at the fire socks now. So, all right, here we go, folks. You've been waiting for this moment. We sell you the entire seat, but you're only going to use the edge now, as here we go. It's on like Donkey Kong.
Barry continues 7 watts per kilogram toward the end of this year. He's been saving up just for this moment, it seems like, there as he pushes 5.2 on the front. Now J-Dub closes it down along with Tarek still involved. Joker's there. Fernandez, Simon now starting to get involved. We haven't seen him up toward the front much at all, but closes it down as far as the watts go. Nothing really going too difficult any longer as they all realize that this is coming back together, and that surge through is not giving too much free speed to the riders who shut it down, but now Vivek timing it well again as he goes to the front immediately after it calms down, sees everybody slowing and uses that opportunity. Now again, here goes Daz Carter. Late jump. Will it be the same as last time, or are we going to see him actually pull something off? Aberg though there. Skier. It's going to be out of Norway.
Yeah, the Norwegian Watt machine has hit out. He's up out of the saddle and flogging himself like a rented mule right now. We're down to less than 2K to go. This is your danger man, Nathan. The watts are massive here, over 7, but not so much that he's going to explode here. Peloton is not putting together quite the chase that I would anticipate. This man is going to be a big problem for them. So this is it right here, right now. This is going to be the move of the night. Can he do it, Nathan? I don't know. I was anticipating this had to be a sprint. Whenever I do that, I'm wrong. So let's see what Aver pull off here.
What are we doing? We're doing 13.9, so still a little over a K to go. And then this downhill here with 57 kilometers per hour from the main pack, 50 from them. I think they're going to bring them right back in as soon as it hits uphill.
I'm afraid so. There is just so much wattage available in that. Oh, that's ominous, isn't it? You take a look at the peloton here as they realize they're going to run out of real estate pretty quickly. They don't want to have this turn into a shipwreck. Aberg made a big, big effort, but that's it. He's put paid. They're punching tickets left, right, and center. Back to the front of the races. We're down inside of 1K to go. Daz Carter up there, Nathan. Daz has got to be hungry for a win here. Can the BL13 rider lick his plate clean, or is he setting up a teammate as BL13 looks like they're planning on making a major rush? There's a ghost power up from Stuart Way.
Stuart Way, look at this move, 9 watts per kilogram. He completely disappears. They don't even know he's there. Man. They don't know he's there. He's off the front now at this point, 10 watts per kilogram. And Way is gone here at this point into the downhill. It's perfect timing. Gets into a super tuck, now jumps here, and it's less than 400 meters to go. They've let him go here at this point, Dave. I don't think they're going to see him again. Way's going to go back to back.
A Zwift class master right here, right now. I've never seen anything like that. If he makes the ghost power, no one has ever deployed a ghost power up and turned it directly into a win. Stuart Way, you are legend.
Holy
Back
cow, he
to
did
back,
it!
Jack.
He did it!
Wow.
He did it with the ghost power
Unreal.
up. That's amazing. What a move by Way. What a move.
I'm stunned.
Oh.
Nathan, I mean, I was almost joking when I was saying at the start of the broadcast, could Stuart Way go back to back? It seemed almost impossible. As the first race he won with tactics and strength, he comes back. And I mean, you want to talk about a Zwift master, Stuart Way. You are legend, man.
That was amazing, actually. That I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it. Let's go back and watch the replay.
Ghost
There it
power up
is.
just at its
And look at
greatest
the
moment,
timing.
didn't it?
Look at the timing there, Dave. Right before it heads into the downhill. Look, then he kicks at the 1% negative. He kicked a little bit, but it wasn't until the 1% negative makes the move, gets the distance, and he's gone. And they don't even know. At this point, look, he gets into a super tuck at that point for a second and then kicks again.
Well, this is a warning to all criminals in New Jersey. Back off. You do not want to be going up against this man. If this is what kind of police officer they've got in New Jersey, that's not a good place to be committing crimes. This guy will catch you. Right?
And he caught them all. He just caught 65 criminals. They're all off the back now and absolutely gone.
Put him in the slammer. Yeah, way to go, Stuart.
Oh gosh, this is amazing. Love to see it. Now look, what is it to the line here? Nice little kick, foul from Pio
He
Auto.
got second.
Pio
Falk,
Auto
right?
with easily too.
Yeah.
Easily. A couple of
Yeah.
bike lengths there. Vivek there, I think, comes through for third. We'll have to wait and look and see at the actual results here. Goyini was there from P to Z. And then it was going to be Biker Morale there, followed up by Dane and Flores there. Aiden Patterson as well. Big old group sprint to the line there. But man, Stuart Way, back to back results. Love to see it.
Well, that's why we do this on Wednesdays, and it's only getting better every week. I don't know what your plans are with this, Nathan. I mean, we feel like we've been doing these for a couple of months on Wednesdays now, but I am just stoked that we have these opportunities. And if you're out there racing and you want to get better, this is a golden opportunity to come get experience. I mean, it's not just about experience. It's truly about having a blast as well. So the man of the day, definitely going to be Stuart Way, but it could be you next week. Who knows? But BL13, big pat on the back to that entire crew. You don't have to win the bike race, Nathan, to win at life, right? And I think that they definitely are winning in a major way out here. So we'll have some results to look at, but I feel like this has been one of the best weeks that we've had in Zwift Community Live ever.
Yeah, things are really starting to ramp up. They're kicking, that's for sure. We're loving it. And there's been a lot, obviously, going on with, the new Echelon
The Alejandro
series.
effect. Let's be honest.
The Alejandro effect. I love it. Absolutely love it. So, well, we're still looking to try and get. I really wanted to see some of the other racers out here, and that's the reason why we're kind of holding off before we show any of the results at this point. But I think they're all going to kind of be finishing up, and we may not be able to get some of the others out here as we are having trouble getting across to them at this point. We'll see if we can, because I really like to highlight the other riders here, but it looks like we're going to have a little bit of struggle making that happen. So apologies, everybody. I know a lot of the riders do like to jump in and see their results. We'll see if we can get some C and D category before they finish up. But let's go through the top 10 at least here, Dave, for what we just watched.
Yeah, Stuart, congratulations. Back-to-back wins is nothing to shake a stick at. So Stuart Way for Wahoo Lacole taking the win. It's Jeppe Falk for second place today. And Goyini, wow, 2 top 10s, including a third. So good job there for a bronze medalist in our second race. Robert Vicic in fourth. Iker Murel, Spanish rider, in fifth today. St. Dane in sixth. Aiden Patterson for seventh. Yadi Kranenberg in eighth. Carlos Flores, World Elite Zwift rider, in ninth. And then Niels Moinshot rounds out our top 10 for the A's. It was a big peloton that came to the line together. Nathan, I'll turn it to you for our
Merlin
top 20.
Delaire with a kick in the 10.8 watts per kilometer for 15 seconds takes 11th place. J-Dub comes on through for 12th. It's going to be Mafatarik in 13th. Matteo Melanisi in for 14th. Wim Reynolds, 15th place. Joel Bowden, good to see, 16th place. It's going to be Jan Bauer in 17th. Aaron Boril in 18th. Andre Minas, 19th place. And Rodrigo Fernandez Simon, he rounds out the top 20 on over to. We had a lot more jump in here. 47 riders rather than 35 this time around.
Good. I bet you if we, by next year in January, we'll start seeing 80 to 100 riders the way things are going. It was our man, Michael Podsleen, in 21st today. Kev Fowler for 22nd. Big Dog 23rd. Martin Van Rijn in 24th. J.M. Lachance, Jean-Michel Lachance for 25th. Tim Hartman in 26th. Spoons in 27th. Joker 28th. Emil Eberg made that late race attack and ends up 29th. And Antoine Lavoie in 30th today.
And out to the top 40 here, Philip Outney, Jacob Larson, 31, 32. Simon Romy in 33rd. Strasser, 34th place. Allen 6225 made a lot of good moves to close things down, but ends up back in 35th. Jan Barista in for 36. Dr. Watson, Matteo Segala, there 38th. It's going to be in Torgensen, 39th. And Daz Carter back in 40th, shutting things down for BL13 as best he could. Moves his way backwards in the final kick. And there's the rounding out the top 47. Thomas Berry, all those moves, but ends up off the back. David, goes to show when you make those kind of moves, it really does put the hurt in the legs, doesn't it?
Yeah, and and for Thomas, he's here, for a lot of reasons. But a 47th place really doesn't mean anything other than he was out here being active today. When he pulls the pin, it's all good. Johan Brettenbach ends up 41st. Dan Schlief for 42nd. Niall had a late race attack as well, keeping his nose in the wind. Always good to see you out there, young man. 43rd, Sven Sprunger in 44th. Stevie Chambers, 45th. Joachim Lisa. I mean, those are two massive talents there in 46th and 47th. Joachim Leeson and Thomas Berry, two of our all-time legends out racing with us. Thanks for being out here, guys.
Yeah, and also, with that, it definitely is a race for training as well for some of these riders. I think Joachim probably opening up his legs for tomorrow, as I believe he's racing Zwift Grand Prix. So, as well as a lot of these BL13 boys. So perhaps Barry was like, look, need to pull the pin.
Absolutely.
We've got some racing. We got the Muckle Yin to take on tomorrow. So most likely a lot of these guys are thinking also about, hey, we can't completely bury ourselves. And with the way that things were going out here today, I think that's probably in the back of their heads about how deep they were digging and whether or not they want to burn too many matches before you have to take on some of the best in the world.
Agreed. Great racing. This is what it's all about. Can't wait to see you back. Well, I'll see you back on Monday morning, Nathan. I know you've got a lot going on with racing yourself and the wrap coming up. We don't have Project Echelon Racing League this Saturday, but we'll be back next Saturday. That has been a tremendous success. Loving the feedback that we're getting there. So it's been a great week, Nathan. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, and thanks everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate all of you. If you haven't done so already, make sure to check out ZwiftCommunityLive.com and hit those follow button, subscribe, comment. It helps out a ton. Of course, as Dave said, we'll be back for the wrap tomorrow. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And as always, from the both of us, ride on.